This is where the work lies. This is the true definition of it gets real. Hi, I'm Taylor-Alexis, and this is a safe place to talk dangerously about life lessons in your 30s, wellness, and filmmaking. So if you're new, welcome, and if not, thanks for coming on back. So today we are going to get into, finally, some filmmaking stuff. I know there's so many topics to talk about, and especially in the documentary world, I just want to see more of what I want to talk about. And I don't really see it out there. Maybe my algorithm is on a different rhythm. Who knows? But that's why I'm here. So today we are going to talk about this is where the work lies. This is the true definition of it gets real. I'm bringing it back to weddings. So pre-production would be me doing consultations, meeting with the bride and the groom, getting to know them, learning about their wedding, going to see the location, things like that, connecting with their wedding planners, connecting with their DJs, all of that. That's the pre-production. Then the production itself is the day of the wedding. It's cool, 8 to 10, 12, maybe 13 hours. And then post-production is where we're taking all of that footage from the entire day and trying to make sense of it, trying to create a story. And that is where the work lies. And I will say this, post-production is probably one of the most expensive parts of filmmaking because, it depends on your skill level, right? So if you're not a strong editor, you might want to hire out for that. If you want a sound engineer, you might want to hire out for that as well. I highly recommend outsourcing. You can't do it all. Those who do. La que puede. Let's just be real here. We don't want burnout. We don't want to, end up hating everything about filmmaking from doing it all by yourself, because that's the whole point of it. Like filmmaking, especially in documentary, is so collaborative. So with post-production, the first thing I want to kind of touch on is the editing workflow and techniques. First of all, invest in a few hard drives. A few hard drives, maybe even do like a backup cloud service, just so that you have your files, but try your best. As soon as you get home, if it's anything that you do, upload your files, and maybe we can do a video about how to organize your editing setup and your files, so that way, you know what's what and where's everything. But that brings me to logging and reviewing. So you get home, you upload your footage, do it to your, I wouldn't recommend your computer if you don't have the space, because that can slow you down. But upload it to your hard drive, upload it to another hard drive, put it up in the cloud somewhere, and be done with it. The next day you can go back and review and figure out what's what, what did you shoot? Did you like any of it? You can go back and listen to audio, things like that. I love using DaVinci Resolve by Blackmagic. Honestly, I've taught myself how to edit, and I've learned the major ones, except for Avid. Avid is a beast. I've dealt with Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and I would say DaVinci is kind of like a mixture of the two, and then some more elevation. I love it. I think once you figure out what's what, it's really, really cool. And I really love the fact that you can do color grading and color correction on DaVinci. You can also do it on the others, but I'm saying they have a large focus on it too. But anyways, I'm not promoting them. But if you can, start with the free version and then go with the one for $300. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's like, love it. So with editing techniques, I think what's really important is understanding pacing and rhythm within film. So before I get to sound, because I have a rule about sound, or some advice about sound, making sure to let certain scenes breathe, right? Let's say you have a heavy topic. I'll go to my Silent Willow. Quay was talking about her blood transfusion.
I couldn't leave the hospital until I got a blood transfusion, and I was just like, okay, cool, just give me the blood and I'm leaving. And my doctor told me, no, you're not going anywhere.
That's an intense topic, right? It could be traumatic for anyone, for you, for Quay, for all of us, right? So you don't want to just bam go into the next scene. No, you want to ease into it and figure out the pacing, but it also depends on your film. I'll always think about that McDonald's Monopoly documentary, and I remember watching it and I was like, I just love the pacing of it. It's so good because it matched the theme of how fast things were moving. It just has to make sense for whatever the topic is. So really, I gotta stress the importance of pacing and timing within editing. And then also ask yourself if you have the capacity to edit. As much as I like editing, I really do, getting started is really hard sometimes. And maybe I might need to outsource and hire an editor using the money that I allocated from pre-production to come in and maybe help with a rough cut, and then I can go in and tweak. I don't think there's anything wrong with outsourcing if you can. That's one of the things about getting a sponsor, right? You can use that money towards editing. Listen, I will just let you in on a secret. Whatever money that you get from these sponsors, these companies and things like that, make sure you, like 60% of it should be like post-production. If you already have like gear and things like that, but 60% of it, man. And then the rest, maybe hiring a crew, et cetera, and travel, things like that. So we all know that music and sound will enhance the emotional impact of a story. As much as I enjoy silent films, I also enjoy a film with a really good music selection. Now, music licensing is a bitch, and I'm not gonna front like, oh yeah, let's use this, I don't know, Teddy Pendergrass song. Yeah, if you have $60,000 in permission to, sure. There are a lot of websites out there. Hopefully I can share some with you in the future. But my number one tip, and I actually got this from an editor when I was at the new school. Oh man, I have to look at my notes. Darn. I can't remember her name. She always said that she likes to edit her first rough cut without any music. Just focusing on the sounds of the interview and seeing how it feels. That way you can build your own rhythm, or you can, find your own groove per se with the film itself. Because let's say, you add in that Teddy Pendergrass song and then his estate's like, nah, you can't use it. You know what I mean? Now you're like, crap, I got to figure out another workaround for this. Post-production, obviously we're working towards the final cut and marketing strategies. So in the pre-production stage, when I had said that you should probably start brainstorming sponsors that you can work with, the different companies that you can work with to get funding, I think you should also do the same with film festivals in the pre-production stage, but I think most of it really happens in post. Because sometimes, you can think about the marketing strategy, but it might come to you once you have like a rough cut or a final cut of the film itself. So you can get like a clearer picture, a clear vision of like, okay, where do you see this film? Where is it going to, lay its head at night? That's the kind of thinking that should be going on. But, with the film festivals, look at film festivals that are related to the topic. If you're doing a film on women's health, are you going to submit it to a men's sports film festival? Doesn't really make sense. Or if you're doing a color film, are you going to submit it to a black and white film festival? Doesn't make sense. So let's just keep those things in mind. And then, in post-production too, you can also work on looking for more sponsors as well. Because sometimes people are not on board until you have a proof of concept, or you have something that's tangible that you can present to someone, and coming up with pitch decks and things like that. So I feel like there's just so much, which is why I love this, because we can talk about it. So I just wanted to do a quick overview of the pre, prod, and post stages of filmmaking in documentaries.